All right. Hey, good evening, everyone. Welcome to episode 5 of the Michael Boothby Show. I'm your host, Michael Boothby. And tonight on the show, we have a very special guest. He's my good friend, Abel Gonzales. And I met Abel out here in Durango doing our TO-SPAY training. And Abel went through level 1 with me, level 2, and level 3, and we're both in the leadership program. Hey Ramiro, how's it going, man? Hey Giuseppe, hey guys. If you guys are just joining the video, please press like, press love, press haha, press some of those buttons because it's going to help me get higher up in the feed and the Facebook algorithms. Hey Sarah Canner, how's it going? How's it going? Feel free to press like, press love. I'm just waiting for Abel to get on, and we're going to bring him on the show, and we're going to have a conversation about true authenticity. So I'm just waiting for him to get on, and we're going to get a conversation. Hey Ramiro, how's it going, man? How's it going, guys? Feel free to type in the comments anything. Say hey, how's it going? Like, love, haha, anger, whatever whatever those buttons are. There's so many of them. Cool, just waiting for Abel. 5:57. We got a few minutes. I think here he comes. There he is. I'm going to add him to the broadcast. Adding him right now. Adding. All right. Hey man, how's it going?
What's going on, man?
Not much, dude. Welcome to the show, episode 5. It's March 6, 2019, and we are now live with my good friend Abel Gonzales. How you doing, man?
Dude, I'm doing great. You're looking handsome. Look at this guy.
Thanks, man.
Goodness gracious.
You know, I gotta put on the plaid. I gotta, do my hair. Do what I gotta do to host the show. We still got about 2 more minutes, but I figured, before we get started, and this is a new thing that I want to start doing, is maybe we can just close our eyes and kind of just take some deep breaths together and really ground.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah, and anyways, you guys, if you're watching, feel free to join us. We're just gonna take a minute here and just take some deep breaths and ground. So let's do that now. Hey guys, if you're just tuning in, we're just taking some deep breaths, so feel free to join us. Just close your eyes and take some deep breaths and really ground. All right. I don't know about you, I'm feeling pretty grounded. Hey Tammy, hey Jesse, hey Layla, hey guys, thanks for joining in. Make sure you guys press like, press love, haha, whatever you're feeling, because when you press those buttons, it's going to help this video get seen by more people. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Abel, how's your day, man? How you doing?
Oh man, today has been absolutely fantastic. From start to finish, it's just one of those days that you choose, which should be every day. And
I love that.
just showed up as truly authentic as I could ever possibly be. Just woke up today and declared who I was, and then after that we just took on the day and approached it with every single part of my being. So yeah, it's been fantastic. Lots of laughs, lots of fun. It was kind of sunny when it first started off in the morning, and then it got a little cloudy, and now it's snowing everywhere.
Oh,
so
wow.
Typical Jackson. So
typical day in Jackson. Yeah, it's been weird here in Durango. It's just like raining, so I'm like, where's the snow? Come on. And I'm trying to also. I've been for work. I've been wanting to. I have a friend here who's shoveling snow, so I'm like praying for snow, so I can make some money. But also on that front, I have a big announcement, big celebration to make. That today I got my very first coaching client.
Nice, man. That's
Yeah,
awesome. Who,
yeah.
like, out of Durango? Is this
Oh,
going
it's
to
a
be an
friend.
in-person?
So I have a friend. No, Chicago. It's going to be online, virtual. My friend Julie is a therapist, dance movement coach, and I think he had worked with her, and she said, "Hey, my friend's looking for this, and I think I want to put you in touch with him." And yeah, it's really great. I'm going to help him find a job using kind of creativity, using some of my improv to kind of bring out some of that self-expression. And I'm going to actually be working with him. This is something that I used to do to get jobs. I would write poems and send them in to stand out, and I think that's a fun, creative thing. And he works in the field of IT as well, so I'm like, man, and he's experienced too. So I'm like, man, if he's already experienced, he just need to add some little creativity, add some confidence. He's gonna get that job, and we're gonna go from
Nice,
there.
man.
Yeah.
Well, I
Oh,
definitely have something to celebrate today as well.
let's
I
share it.
just got back from signing the papers for an awesome job that I've interviewed. I interviewed for
No
before I
way.
left, and to Durango, and interviewed when I got back, and yeah, signed away, man. It was sick. I got it.
Woo!
I'm pumped.
Hell yeah,
I'm
guys!
so
Press
pumped.
like, press love.
Yeah, so
Abel
pumped.
got a job, guys. Ha ha, like and love. Share that love, guys. That's amazing. Congrats, man.
Yeah.
Was that the job here in Durango or in
No, no,
or
it's
in
here. It's here
Jackson?
in Jackson.
Okay,
Yeah, yeah.
cool. What are you gonna be doing?
Durango. So accounting, like an accountant. So
Okay,
exactly what I
cool.
want to do. Exactly the field that I've been most passionate about, and it's going to create an opportunity for me to really launch my vision, and which is going to be the platform that
Amazing.
helps business owners, helps business leaders, helps them identify with what it truly means to lead and to lead by example. Um, so it's huge, man. It's yeah. And I walked in there to those interviews, and I did so declaring that this job was mine, and I did so from the start, and showed up more authentic than I ever have in my entire life, and
Man.
just boom. So
You know,
stoked.
I know you, when I reached out to you to come on the show, you immediately were like, let's talk about true authenticity, and
Yeah,
and I think we're both kind of realizing this for ourselves, but true authenticity, it doesn't matter what you're doing, if it's job searching, if it's dating, just in life and your relationships, it's the most powerful thing.
yeah,
And
yeah,
last
absolutely.
night,
I mean, when we think
yeah,
about what that means,
yeah.
no, you go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I just before to kick this whole conversation off, again, guys, I'm here right now. If you're just joining, I'm live with Abel Gonzales, who's another member of my TOSPE leadership program out here in Durango. And last night we had our first group meeting, and you shared a story that was incredible. And it was a story also about true authenticity, about your drive back home to Jackson, and something happened, and your true authenticity helped you out. So would you like to share that story right now with our
Yeah,
viewers?
absolutely. So been going to Durango since January, and driving from Jackson, it's 12 hours. So yeah, needless to say, when I'm leaving Durango, I want to get home. I'm like in a hurry. I'm like, gosh, I just want to like sleep in my own bed, just be with my friends here. And then, yeah, I was going 80 and a 65. Yeah, I know.
Oh my
I
gosh,
just, I didn't
yeah.
even, so many towns, so many states, the speed limits change, whatever. That's just the story. But
Yeah.
the reality is, yeah, I got pulled over doing 80 and a 65, and I started to shake. I was like, oh man, this is it.
I
This
know
is it.
that. I know that feeling. Yeah.
So, but he didn't waste any time. He went up to my passenger side window, the officer, and rolled down my window, and I immediately was just me in its
Yeah.
entirety. And the first thing I said was, "Officer, I let me please apologize. I'm sure I know why you pulled me over." He's like, "Whoa, man, you were like, whoa, you're going really fast." And I just told him the truth. I said, "Hey, personally, I wasn't paying attention to the speed limit signs. I didn't see anything. So I just want to own up to that immediately and let you know that I am sincerely I'm sorry. And also told him, hey, I've been in Durango doing a leadership program there, and this is a very tiring program. It pulls everything out of me every single day that I'm there for a lot of hours out of the day. And he was just like, oh, well, that's cool. Well, I was like, I'm just trying to get home, man. and I just left Moab. I was just climbing in Moab, and I want to go home as quick as possible. And so he literally rushed to the back of his car, took only my license, and then came back out and said, hey, man, slow it down. And thank you for sharing, and just handed me my license. And I was just like, I mean, that's like 15 miles over the speed limit. That's kind of wild.
Yeah. Well, that's great. Also, your dad's watching this broadcast right now, and he said when Abel sets his mind, he goes for it, and he's a proud papa. That's amazing. My mom always pops in and out of these shows, and it's always fun. But yeah, the power of the internet. Look, we can all connect right here. But that's an amazing story, man, and it's so much better than my last run-in with the cops. But again, I was also back then. I was being authentic too, because I was in Chicago, and it was weird. Like I took a left at a light, and the light was green, and he pulled me over because he was like, you didn't have your turn light on, and I was like, last time I checked, you didn't need to turn your turn light on when you're in a turn lane. But I don't know. I still have a Florida license plate, so he must have just thought it was suspicious. He you ran my plates and stuff, and I'm like, what have I done? I didn't do anything. And he was just like, and I think he tried to get me for that. He was like, how long have you been in Chicago? I'm like, I just moved here, which I always use use that one. And they're like, all right, cool, well, enjoy Chicago. And I'm like, I will, and I thank you, officer. You drive away, but no, I think you brought up a great point. Which is I know when I was younger too, and when I got pulled over, I would always go into a story, this and that, and how many times a day do they pull people over and they hear the same excuses, and it's probably so rare that people are like, yeah, I was speeding, this is why, I'm sorry, I won't do it again, or I'll do better next time, and it does seem like when you do that, maybe you're not going to always get out of the ticket, but I think it's just going to be a better interaction.
Yeah, for me, it wasn't a matter of truthfully, it was not about getting out of the ticket.
Yeah.
It was about presenting myself as myself to be an authentically nice person. I didn't want to ruin this sheriff's day. I've had plenty of times when cops have pulled me over and I've been like, what do you want? Leave me alone. Why are you here? This is annoying. I got places to be. Write your ticket and let me go. But to show up as someone who wanted to make this guy's day better, to maybe give him hope or give him a better understanding of really who's out there, or that you don't have to be worried when you walk up to a car. Sometime, most of the time, or I hope most of the time, on the other end of that window is somebody with a sincere and authentic heart to just be honest with himself. Hey, made a mistake. And it's one that, and when you tell me that you're giving me a warning, I took it to heart. And you can bet your bottom dollar that I did not speed the entire way home. But, I mean, let's talk about speeding. I definitely, on a 65, I'm probably cruising 67, 68. And that's to be expected.
I know. I always go 10 to 15 over. And, it's come on. I actually read an article the other day. I think that there's some highways in America that they're thinking of just getting rid of speed limits altogether. Like the Autobahn in Germany. Yeah, it was some article. I didn't read too much into it, but I'm like, I don't know. It's if you're on one of those, transnational highways, it's but if everyone's booking it and just being responsible about it, then I don't know. Also, I want to bring, I think you have a friend, Trevor Cruz, said, Abel, Harlem Shake, extra shake. What does that mean?
Oh, Trevor. So, you remember the Harlem Shake back in the day?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we made a video, him and I, and about four of our other really good friends, especially at that time. So it was hilarious. I'll show you later.
Do you still have it? We'll have to post that on the Michael Boothby Show page.
It's hilarious.
for anyone who's interested. Cool.
Goodness.
Definitely. So cool. Let's go back to the true authenticity, and because this is coming up for both of us. We're kind of now through this training, through our own lives, realizing the importance of it and the power of it. And I don't know about you, but I know for me, For a lot of my life, I feared authenticity. I think I almost feared expressing myself and my true self. And, so maybe if you want to speak to that and, what was your path to true authenticity and like why true authenticity,
It has a lot to do with energy. So
Mm.
your energy is really speaking to the room. When you walk into a room, what are you providing? You and I have been in a lot of rooms where you've seen my energy shift from
Yeah.
to like,
Yeah. That's the face, man. The Abel. A leader.
oh, such a leader. Um,
Gosh, such a leader.
but no,
Yeah,
but it brings light when I'm actually able to be me, to be able, and to when I don't really have to paint a face. I don't have to pretend. And there's a lot that comes up with me when it comes to true authenticity. Like, do I even know what that means for me? How do I find that? Am who I am being right now? Is that really truly authentic? Well, I think it falls under your energy, what kind of energy you're promoting for yourself in the day, and then truly understanding yourself from a measure of love. Like, how much do people just not love themselves, or just
Yeah.
not really care about themselves, or could list you 15 to 20 things wrong with themselves? I'm kind of on the opposite spectrum. I'm trying to build a book of why I love myself, but authentically, not in an arrogant, selfish way, in a truly careful way and caring way for myself. To be
I
able to
love
wake up in
that.
the mirror and be like, yeah, I like that. And I like it because it's
Yeah.
real. I'm not smiling because I need to. I'm
Because
not,
you want to.
yeah, because it's just inherent. It's just there. It has to happen.
Wow. Can you call your book "Being Able to Be
Be,
Able"?
All right, so now you get to write the forward and
Yeah.
okay.
There we
So
go.
all right,
Yeah,
now we've
love
established
it.
this. I'm with it.
Being able to be able. I love it.
That's huge.
And cool. That's great, man. That's such a great mission, and we need more positivity. And it's like not that even that big positivity. It's that little positivity. It's asking the cashier at the grocery store, "Hey, how are you?" And looking her in the eyes and actually caring, because it's like we can do that everywhere. And it's like if 100 more people in your community started doing that, imagine how much like better the community is, just because people are nicer. And it's such a small thing. So I love that.
Yeah.
Let's keep going into this. Oh, we
Well,
have
I
a
mean,
story. Hold on, your dad
authentically,
dropped a
yeah.
story. He said Abel's little
Oh
brother
no.
Alec one time came out of his seatbelt when I got pulled over and told the cop, "Hey, you better turn those lights out or your battery gonna go dead." Wow, it's your little brother. Wow, man.
Yeah.
Wow. That's
He
that's pretty ballsy. You see, but that's some authenticity right there.
100%. I mean, you can bring that. That speaks directly to our childhood. How much more authentic can we actually be? And I
When
know I saw
yeah.
your face light up when you see that. I know how much
Yeah.
you love that. But that's
And
true.
that's what your dad said. And then he said after the cop laughed so much he let me go. That's guys. If you take anything away from this episode, we have two concrete examples of people getting let off by cops for speeding tickets from just being authentic.
Yeah.
So
How to get out of a ticket.
yeah,
Season
the
one.
answer will surprise you. Love it. Cool. That's so amazing. This is the most interaction we've gotten so far in the show, and I'm loving it, guys. Yeah. As you're watching, feel free to press those reaction buttons, like, love, haha, angry. Use the angry. If we say something and you're like, I don't agree with it, press angry. Tell us why. Let's have a conversation, because that's what we need to be able to talk about the things that we disagree with. And we live right now in this culture that's telling us it's like, it's white or black. It's Democrat, it's Republican. And guys, it's not how it is. You guys, it's gray. Everything's gray. There's nuance. And, that's what we try to bring out on this show. I'm up here doing the show to show off my true authentic self, but also to invite people on so they can be their authentic self, because how much TV and content and media do we watch? And it's all staged, it's all written. We don't get to really feel people. We get to feel what other people want us to feel. when we should just feel whatever the fuck we want to feel. I'll say it.
Exactly.
Anyways, that's my piece. Let's get back to Abel. Oh, yeah. So back
No,
to
you're touching on a lot of things,
yeah.
and it's all good stuff. But I definitely want to highlight the childlike authenticity, because what examples do we have? I mean, we have our family, our father, maybe an older brother, our sister, maybe an older sister or mother, grandparents. Those are our examples, right? And then we go to school, depending on where you go to school, and then that's what we're like immersed in. And I'm really thankful for my school and my coaches and these people who have had an influence on me. My grandfather, who instilled in me a hard work ethic, which allowed me to pave the way to enroll people onto getting me hired today. You know, it goes as far back as we want to look at it, but when we really start to think about how this can be something that we base it off of, I mean, children, they laugh at everything. They're not thinking, is that funny? Should I laugh? Or is it going to be weird if I laugh? They're not worried about being weird.
Laugh. Yeah.
They're worried about playing in the dirt. They're worried about rolling around on the ground. You and I, we've had
the
some
dance.
Yeah, that was the best dance ever.
I'm going to remember that for the rest of my life, guys. Yeah, so the other day, we were in our training, and things were getting, like, really heavy and really serious, and I'm like, we gotta have some fun with this. We gotta shift our state. We gotta shift our mood. And I kind of just started, like, rolling around on the ground, and I was like, serious, well, you know, just being ridiculous. And then I don't know, I think I started making some faces at Abel or something. Then we started dancing, and then Abel literally like picked me up by my legs and just starts swinging me around in the middle of this, like, classroom, and I'm just like, I'm feeling like it's, what's her name from Titanic? You know, and Abel's just my jack, and I'm like, I'm just flying, and I think I even hit my head on the ground once. I didn't even care. I was like, I definitely did. It wasn't too hard, but I was like, oh my God, this is the most liberating experience. And it's like, how many people go throughout their day without another man just picking them up and just swinging them around? And it's like, man, that could just make your day. And it doesn't even have to be something that extreme, but it's like, and this is kind of my work, and this is kind of what I'm really interested in. Is like, I combine. You know, I teach improvisational theater, and I combine it with meditation and mindfulness and breath work. And, you know, I only do that to get people present, because I think the magic of improv is that it gets you back into the mind of a child. And people think we're so dismissive of children, and it's yet like, man, I think all these organizations, these businesses, like, you need adults, but like if everyone was working but also had that playful energy, like, so much more would get done. There'd be more creativity. People would be happier. You know, people would be more authentic. People wouldn't be miserable. People would probably love their jobs, and they'd love their lives because they spend most of their lives at their jobs. So, yeah, so I love that. I think, you know, you almost can't have the true authenticity without being in touch with your child.
Yeah, I completely agree. And it's also like, this is a choice. You know, every single day, every single moment, what I'm saying now, this, and, you know, it's absolutely no accident that you and I met the way we did and have known each other for the 3 months that we have, and that we'll know each other forever. But it's a choice. We both chose to enroll, and we both met each other, and we both have gone out of our way to stay in touch and be a part of each other's lives. Authenticity is a choice. How I choose to show up today is going to be entirely up to me. If I choose to show up and want to deceive and manipulate, then that's my choice, and that's what's going to happen. But I'm choosing to not do that. I'm choosing to understand that I'm actually a very happy person. I really love life, and I really love everything that comes with it. And when I see someone, I hurt. You know, if I see someone on the side of the road who doesn't have any money, it hurts me. And regardless of if they're homeless or whatever stereotype you decide to associate yourself with a homeless individual, it still hurts. And that's an authentic self, right?
Yeah.
When I see something and it's funny, like I remember George Lopez, one of his stand-ups, he just, you know, he's making fun of Hispanics because he is one. And he's talking about the home theater area, or what do they even call that, where you put your TV on? Home
Oh, yeah.
entertainment center. Entertainment
Yeah,
center.
yeah, yeah, yeah. There you go.
But he was talking about how his grandpa would like stack different pieces of furniture on top of one another to get the TV to a certain height, to where you can see it reclining from his like recliner, and that makes me laugh so much when I see that, because it's exactly what my grandpa did. It's relatable,
Right.
and that's an
Yeah.
authentic
Oh, yeah.
expression, is being able to relate. And so when I'm able to relate, I laugh in a way that I wouldn't laugh normally. Things
Yeah.
are different. Things are enlightened. There's more
Yeah.
energy. Bringing this, the energy brings forth. When I'm sad, there's an emotion that really takes hold of me. I was in a conversation just yesterday, and a lady was telling me about how she was honored at a hockey game, and it melted my heart, the way that she was
Oh,
honored and the way these people went out of their way. And yeah, tears started to come down, and it's an authentic expression. But how can we hone those in and truly have them every single minute of every day?
yeah.
It starts with the choice. I mean, obvious. Yeah, it has to.
Yeah. I think, and I think what, like, kind of what you said, I think that's like one of the most amazing experiences. And I think like during the training at Teospace is like one of the few times where I've actually had the experience of literally like someone's crying because they're feeling something so much. And then it's like it has nothing to do with me, but just being there and witnessing their experience and feeling it too. And then I just start crying, and I'm like, that's so beautiful. And because we're so judgmental, and we're taught, in our school, especially as men, I'm sure you even more so than me, because you were so involved in sports, and you were taught, don't cry, women cry, and you're a pussy, and stuff like that, because that's the language that was used. And it's used and it's used to keep you like conforming, and to keep you like in this box that even like the people who are telling you that probably aren't even aware of what they're doing, because they're just running the cultural programming of what their parents did, and so forth, and so beyond. So I think obviously this is what we learn at Teospace, but I think this is something that anyone can do, whether you're going to go to a training or not. It's like, just feel your feelings, and don't make excuses for them. If someone says something and it makes you angry, you can feel angry. You can feel sad, and you must, because if you don't, then these emotions just bottle up inside of you. And so one thing that a common philosophy that I've come to is like, whatever it is inside of you, get that shit out. Whether if you see something and you think it's so funny, laugh about it, or go tell someone that you think it's funny. Or if you're if you're driving and you see someone on the street and they're homeless, and you're like, man, that really makes my heart feel that. Don't, because otherwise it's just like, I do believe in, you watched episode 2 with my father, who's been a physician for the last 30 years, and he said the same thing. Like, your thoughts are so powerful. You'll create mental illness. You'll create physical illness from telling yourself, that you're not worthy enough times, or, you eventually, you get to this point, I'm not worthy of life, and your body literally shuts down. And so that's like the importance. Like, why improv? Why should you go and laugh and have fun and feel things? Because your life depends on it.
Right. No, it's sickness is relevant, and we create it. I mean, let's get real. When we allow ourselves to be put in situations, when we choose to put ourselves in a stressful situation, we're putting ourselves in alignment with illness. Yeah. We're saying, okay, now the door is open. When I choose to smoke a cigarette, I'm choosing to put myself in alignment with and open the door for illness. And it's relevant. It's real. And we choose. This is so important. Our decisions. Why are we choosing these things? And why have I chosen some things, some in my past? Why has it been so relevant for me? But when you were talking about just laughing to laugh, I remember the other night when we were hanging out, and remember, Chi was like, "Pepperoni." It's just non-stop, just pepperoni, pepperoni, pepperoni,
pepperoni,
screaming to the top of their lungs.
Yeah, going big. Yeah, I was there. I was so tired because I'd just driven 10 hours. But even then, I was like, I couldn't be mad, because I'm like, dude, they're just doing this silly thing, and it's so funny. And I know, like, if I wasn't tired, I'd be right there in the kitchen with them.
Yeah. No, I was with you on the couch, and yeah, that was hilarious. I could never be upset for them having the best time of their life. But what was even
No.
better is when I got in the car with them to go home, it was nonstop. It was still pepperoni
They
everywhere.
kept going.
And that's when I was like, that's when the energy consumed me, and I just started laughing like I've never. It was just so hysterical. And then they both looked back at me and they're like, pepperoni? And that's when I died. That's when I died. That's when I was like, okay, it's over for me. It's over.
Oh, that's so funny. I love that. And you touched on this earlier, but it's like it's something I've learned, moved to Chicago 3 years ago to, pursue comedy. And and since then I've done a lot of stand up, I've done a lot of improv. But for me, it's like still, it's like the funniest things. It's like it is authentic. Like you said, you're like, why is that joke funny? Because I relate to it. And it's like, and I also think it's like the funniest thing is like addressing the elephant in the room, which is why like a lot of stand-up comics, they'll open their set with like a I look like joke. They'll be like, I look like so-and-so, had a baby with so-and-so. And like everyone laughs because it's like the punchline is just you. You look at them and you understand the joke. So yeah, it's like being relatable. And yeah, exactly. Like if you're feeling something, like addressing it, because people will feel that you feel it, and if you don't address it, that's when things get weird.
No, absolutely. I mean, how have we gone so long in our life without addressing, right?
Yeah.
How many times have we not stood up when we wanted to stand up, not said what we wanted to say? And I really do believe there's an authenticity with with a structure. Authenticity doesn't always have to be associated with spontaneity, right? I mean, it really doesn't.
Right.
It can be structured. It can be more understanding, more relevant, whatever you want to call it. But the structure behind it is having control over your emotions. I think there's an authenticity there, right? So if you are angry, feel angry, but don't go out and like burn stuff or do something
don't
absolutely
act on
insane.
it.
Don't act on it, but control
Yeah.
that, but authentically express it, right? So I feel like that's a huge aspect to this is most people think authentic, it has to be incredibly unique. A lot of people associate the word unique with authentic. Oh, it's so authentic. Oh, it's so unique. And I believe that entirely. Our authenticity is so unique to us. Every last bit of us, every single person in this world is 100% different. It's so important for us to really understand that. It is unique. Associate it. It's brilliant.
And we got some great comments rolling in. Well, first off, we have Debbie and Kiki. Well, Kiki said that she actually got cancer because of holding it all in, and what she learned was invaluable. And then Deborah said, "Me too." And then Kiki said, "Crazy, but so true. But now I'm authentic," which is wonderful. That's amazing. And then your dad chimed in and said, "All my kids are always laughing. It comes from my mom and me."
Oh yeah.
Taking all the credit there, Dad. And then Cameron said, laughter heals, especially when we can laugh at ourselves. And I was actually going to talk about that earlier because especially me, the humble servant in our group and, especially during our stretch night. So for all of you who aren't familiar, I want to spoil this, but we had a night that was kind of like transformational theater. And I was put into a group where one of our goals, we couldn't speak, but one of our goals was to show that we could like do something embarrassing, but for the sole purpose of showing everyone else that it's okay. And I had so much fun with that. And I even think before that night, that's something that I'm always doing, especially why I teach improv. Because when you get improv, it's like, because if I'm teaching, I have to be the silliest person in the room. Because I know there's people there who are going to be like, well, this is weird. But like, if I can just go be so ridiculous, I give others permission to join me. I invite them. And I think that's important thing to do in life as well is invite people into your authentic energy. It's like, and that's how we get to experience each other. That's how we get past these shallow conversations. It's like, we're just like, here's who I am. And then people can go, ooh, here's who I am. And then you get like weird together and it's so fun, and it's like, I think weirdness is nothing to fear. And even when embarrassing things happen, it's like nothing to fear. Like I could shit my pants on a bus and I'd probably be laughing about it. Like people would be like, ew, I'd be like, I shit my pants. Yeah, this sucks. Doesn't this suck, everyone? How happy are you that you're not me? Because you got a pretty good right now, Oh man, hold on. We got. The comments are rolling in now. Kiki says, makes me happy to share positive energy and watch it work. Deborah says, the more of us that share what illness taught us, the better. Time to speak is now. Laughing and humor is so healing. I agree. Chris joined the broadcast. Hi guys. Hey Chris. And Deborah said, y'all have beautiful teeth.
Thank you.
Guys, I've been using, no, damn, they're not even sponsoring me. I shouldn't plug this shit. But I've been using activated charcoal, and I highly recommend
Oh,
it.
yeah.
I
do with some Charco.
Yeah, some Charco.
Yeah.
That'll be our brand. We should make Charco. Charco, activated charcoal. Chris says, God wants you to be authentic, be yourself, and follow him, not others. And I agree with that. The universe, God, source, exactly.
Yeah.
That's what we're here. We're here to express ourselves. We got a lot of LOLs. That's probably what I was talking about, shitting myself on a bus. It's gonna happen now. Watch it. It's gonna happen.
100%.
And
Can't wait.
I
don't want to be there.
Oh, I don't want to be there
I don't
either.
wanna be
But when it happens, I'll just go on Facebook Live and be like, guys, it happened.
Guys?
I'm shitting my pants on a bus. Oh man, we're going off the rails.
I think you're speaking to a lot, and
Yeah.
it has a lot to do with with what we're doing for me.
Yeah.
Particularly this year has been, and it wasn't a New Year's resolution. It had nothing to do with that, but I really, through this sabbatical, this self-paid sabbatical, supporting myself and supporting myself financially, but also supporting myself emotionally and more intellectually. And what does that actually mean? I mean, you can be here and we can be funny with it, but it actually means a lot. And having the work that I've been able to, accomplishing what I have accomplished with Tio Spey, which it's our entire purpose not to give you guys anything away, because everyone gets to experience this. Everyone gets to go. And we want that to be an experience like you would never believe. So while I would love to go into so many details, honestly, it's something that you get to experience for yourself. But Tio, making relatives has absolutely changed the way I view authenticity. It's helped me see for myself, because I've been able to be with myself more than ever before. Yeah. And when I think about what we've accomplished, when I think about how much we have stretched ourselves and others, I can never be more thankful for the key source to authenticity. Honestly, believe this is people. Surrounding yourself with people. Who do you surround yourself with? Are they people like you, like your authentic self? Are you stretching and challenging yourself to maybe associate with people that aren't just like you in every way, or have this similar interest? Or, Michael Boothby is probably someone I wouldn't have ever met.
No.
I mean, we don't run in the same circles at all. But I'm excited to explore and to get to know the people that you know. And I'm sure you could say the same about me. And thank you for inviting me into your life, because now I get to have that experience that I would never have had before. And that's because you showed up to me as your true authentic self. And who wants to be around fake people? You ever been a fake person? Yeah, I've been a fake guy a lot. I have faked it. So I have faked it and made it so much in my life. I'm just over it. I'm done with that.
Yeah, it's tiring.
This is better.
Yeah. Oh man, it is, because it's like there's no pressure anymore, and again, another philosophy that I live by now is that nothing has to be hard, people. Everything can be easy. And it's like, I know that's something that I grew up with, and it's funny, my mother's watching right now, but I remember when I was younger, it was a lot of pressure to succeed, and to not just succeed, but to do well, and and to get A's, and like anytime I got a B, it was like, oh shit, I gotta tell my mom I got a B, and she's gonna be like, why didn't you get an A? I was like, what is this even about? But it's like, we put all these pressures on ourselves, and it's like, why don't we just have fun? Because we can have, it's such a choice, failing can be fun. And it's like, in our failure, that's where we learn. That's where like the good stuff is. And speaking again of Tio Spey, and that's the training program that Abel and I are both enrolled in right now. I think the biggest value that it's given me is being surrounded by a group of people who are giving me honest feedback all of the time. Because we go through our lives, our friends and our family, we're not honest with each other. We tell each other what we want to hear. We don't want to hurt people's feelings. And in doing that, we're not doing service. We're doing a disservice to the people we love. Because the only way for you to truly learn about yourself is through feedback from other people.
Right.
Because I do truly believe, that we are all one, that we all are God, and we're all just these different manifestations and expressions of it. And so to find our wholeness, we have to talk to the other parts of us that are here. And it's only it's in the illusion of separateness that we get lost, and that's when we come to hate and to judgment. And it's like, if we all knew that we were one, like what would we wouldn't be fighting, because you can't fight yourself. That's ridiculous. So again, that's like another thing that's been coming up in the value of this program is like, God, even like last night, like, so we got to talk about this. We got to talk about Thai-gate. which I'm totally making it a thing, just because I think it's funny. But I also think, and I talked to Jenny about this today, and it's like, I don't know. It's like I'm kind of being viewed as this guy in the group who's like the rebel, which I like that. I like being, but it's like it's not my intention. And even the fact that I did go out to the store, I dropped almost $100 on these clothes, and I was like, it's a suit. I got a suit. I got a pants. And I got this thing, and honestly, we had a bow tie. I had a bow tie that I got from my gift bag Sunday night, and I was going to throw that on. But honestly, I went to close the shirt, and it was like choking my neck, and I was like, you know what? Good enough, man. I look fucking great. And then I walk in, and I'm immediately crucified. It's like, and there's some people in our group who I think you and her are two of the more controlling people, and you're very, well, here are the rules, and this is what the rules say, and you're not following them. And it brought up this whole thing, and I'm standing in front of everyone, and it's like, man, like, we're wasting so much time on just like on this, and it's like, my intention wasn't to do that. My intention was I believed I was in business excellence, and I'm looking damn good. And it's like, everyone's like, man, Michael, fuck yeah, your business excellence looks great. Let's keep going. Everyone looks great. Let's all be in excellence together. And it's like, that's because that's what I want. I think that's more constructive, and instead we're getting mired in these details. And it's like nitpicky, and I don't know. Again, I'm also defending my case now with 13 people who are completely independent. But again, guys, weigh in your opinions. What does business excellence mean to you? And this is a hashtag Thai-gate 2019, which means nothing to most of the world. It's becoming a thing for like our group, 22 people. But chime in the comments. I want to see what you think as well. But also, Abel, what do you think? Because also we're talking about true authenticity.
Absolutely.
And if my true authentic self is also I'm checking the boxes. I don't know. It's like, where do we draw the line?
That's a good point. And everyone's individual idea about business excellence is amazing. For me, I can tell you exactly what it is. For me, it's I feel excellent, and I prepare myself for whatever business I'm going into. Yeah. Right? So I feel excellent, and I'm now going to put on the clothes for the business that is at hand. So if that's work, it looks one way. If I'm climbing, it looks another. But being excellent with myself is first and foremost a priority. But we also choose this, right? So we choose every element. And so when I choose to get in my car and drive home, guess what? There are guidelines I have to follow. Because if not, ticket. Or if not, go to jail
unless you use your true
whatever.
Authenticity and you get out of the ticket.
Unless you get out of it. But I think it's just you're truly being authentic with yourself, with how you, and that's a good for me. It makes sense. The personality type that I am. So it makes sense for me to analyze, to have the numbers in front of me, to really identify with where I'm going. I love having directions, but I've actually learned to, I want to know where I'm going. I like knowing what I'm doing. It's easier for me. The stretch for me has been finding myself in those moments where I don't have that, and what response comes forth? What response comes to me when I'm not able to just do the personality that I am and be that. I think it aligns with the choice that I made for that day. So I have a friend who isn't really the most scheduling type of person, not the most organized. But when I choose to be with that person, I'm choosing to share with them myself, but also not to
Yeah.
get lost in myself. Right?
Yeah.
I want to be
Yeah.
and experience this person. I want to experience at this organization. I want to experience like being late or whatever comes with that
Yeah.
expression. I'm not getting lost in myself. I want to be true to myself, but I want to experience who this person is as well.
Yeah, and I love that. Again, and like that's what you just described is like that's the improv, you know? That's the dance. And it's that balance exactly. It's the balance of expressing yourself and, you know, putting yourself out there, but also just sitting back and listening and actively listening and taking in the
Yeah.
information that people want that other people want to express. Because if you're expressing yourself all the time, you know, I used to be that guy, and I didn't let people get in, you know, a word in edgewise, and you know, because I so desperately wanted to be a performer, and I was just like, look at me, and in doing that, you know, who wants to hang out with that guy? You know, and for me, that's been my biggest lesson from this training is like my greatest power is in silence. It's just in listening and observing. You know, because the more I do that, especially the people who know me, they go, wow, Michael's not talking. And then eventually people will go, hey, Michael, what do you think? And now I've been asked. Now people are interested. And I
Yeah.
think that, you know, that happened on Sunday morning where I was like going around and I was just like, no, I'm going to let this, I'm just going to watch and let this go. And then when I finally got to speak, I was just like, everyone's like, oh, Michael's speaking. Oh, wow. And like I felt like my words just had so much more weight. And so for me, that's been a big lesson. And quick side note, in the comments, Tarina, my friend Tarina from Australia, just said, I just got out of a ticket that way. So guys, 3 examples of people getting out of tickets by being authentic. This is data, people. This is hard social science.
I
Oh
agree.
my gosh.
That's awesome.
Yeah, right?
Everyone, there would be stories everywhere. Yeah, just being you, like being true to you, listening, right? So
Yeah.
sometimes we listen, and then for me, the biggest thing I've ever run into with listening is I've never really listened.
Yeah.
I more so was I heard what you said. I read the headlines. I heard the
Yeah.
headlines, and now I'm prepared for my answer, and I don't need you to really talk anymore. Isn't that awful?
Yeah.
It's so
Yeah.
true, though.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't. I used to say I had I'm not good with names, but really I
No,
just
yeah, that's
didn't
a
care
story.
enough
Yeah.
to listen.
Yeah.
I didn't just, sorry, what's your name? And I've even convinced myself that I needed to practice these certain methods that I read online that would be helpful for me to remember names, like saying their name back and having
Yeah.
a long enough conversation to where you can say their names 3 more times. Even with all that practice, I still like
Yeah,
don't
because you didn't
remember
care.
their because I don't care. And
Yeah, and it's
so
like, yeah,
learn how to care. Listen,
you learn how to.
care.
That's great.
Listen with
Learn how to
intention.
care and learn how to listen. I think it's another great lesson. Yeah, exactly. I think most people don't listen. Like I mean, like I used to do this job. I worked for GT's Kombucha. And I was like, I did like these in-store demos. So I would like be in a grocery store for like 3 hours. And a lot of the time it's like not a lot happening. So I had a lot of time to just observe people. And it's like, yeah, it's like people are just running on autopilot. It freaks you out at a point when you like, especially when you're in a store and check in, check out. It's like, Jesus Christ, like, we become robots? Like, I always, like, then there's no one has any expression. And especially I found this a lot, especially in like big cities. That's like, if you do express yourself in public, like people get scared. People, oh, emotion, oh God, like what do I do? People don't know what to do with it. And it's like, man, like I want to live in a world where everyone's fucking just dancing down the street. Like everyone's like on the like where the fucking subway's a dance party. Like that. Imagine every day if everyone danced on their way to work just like because they wanted to. That'd be the fucking best world, right? You know, it'd be so much fun.
So speaking to that, first off, caring is essential to authenticity. If you don't have it, you're not authentic. It just can't you can't do one without the other. I really firmly believe that. And listening, you got to have that. If you don't listen enough to understand what comes up with your authenticity in that moment, then you don't have it. So listening, caring, essential. Dancing to work. Funny you should say that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, I was challenged in Flagstaff, Arizona. I worked for a bank there, and I'm the branch manager, so it was like, I wanted to kind of figure out really, how can I engage my team? Used to do pep talks every morning, pump us up. Yeah, usually had some sort of a sports analogy, always a sports analogy,
Always a
and
sports
always the
analogy.
Dallas Cowboys. My dad would be proud. But I remember one day I was just like, you know what, I'm going to dance from my car to the front door. And I'm going to do it every single time. And I was doing that for a long time, and people would see me. They're like, "What are you doing? It's weird. There's no music." I was like, "It's all good. Whatever. Don't worry about it. I love my life. I love my job." But really, when I think about it, and then I came to Jackson, and I had people that worked for me here at the bank do the same. They were just, it made them so uncomfortable. And if someone came walking up, I stood by the door, and if someone came to walking up, just normal teller, banker, I wouldn't let them in. I'm like, no,
Yeah.
go to the end and dance. And yeah, we tried to create. I tried to create an environment where you felt free and to have some fun. But I was also kind of a pain in the ass boss. Let's get real. I'm very strict. I was very strict. I was very formal most of the time. I mean, it's running a bank. It's a business. It's a big one if you make it that way. But yeah, I'm so excited to jump back into leadership at some point in my life, because who I am today is not the leader my team will remember me. Remember the good things. Like I've encouraged them to remember all those great things. When we took pictures jumping outside, or I taped phones underneath bankers' desks and played jokes on them, calling them while they were clients. Fun. Yeah, just always had fun with it.
Yeah, the pranks, man. Those little pranks. It's like those little things that you do that just kind of shock people into the present moment.
Yeah, like the office pranks. That's kind of what we did.
Yeah. Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Oh my
Dwight
gosh.
and Jim, legends. They should write a book on office pranks.
They should. People would buy that. The Office is still really popular on Netflix. My roommate's always watching it. And Frasier. And I'll say it. Frasier, highly underrated show.
So I love it.
It's classic. I told him, my roommate Mitch, I think that he needs to start a YouTube channel where he just analyzes episodes of Frasier, but also takes the life lessons out of it. I'm like, dude, that'd be amazing. I don't know. He's still. I'm always throwing these crazy ideas at him, and maybe in the hopes that one day that he'll go, wow, and he'll go and do them. But
well, I have a question for you, because I know you're going to be able to speak to this.
Okay.
What in your view, in your thought process about authenticity, we've kind of gone a lot of different ways. I think we're honing it in quite well and bringing forth a pretty relevant observation or a unique thought process around authenticity. But let's talk about media. Let's talk about movies. Let's talk about our childhood movies, the musics that we listened to, the first time we ever saw Playboy. How is this stuff? How are we, with what we have experienced through our childhood, and I'm speaking specific to media, watching the news, the events that have happened, the national and international tragedies that have happened all across the world, that we experienced in our lifetime. But also today, what I saw today, how I listened, and the news I read, the paper I read, the chapters of the 2 books that I read today, how is that influencing my true authenticity? Because I love how your brain works when it comes to media. It's just like it was built and made for you to understand these processes and why this relates to you. Because you feed off that. Improv. That is about exploring the unknown. The improv is about exploring authenticity and showcasing it for the world to see and to appreciate who you are. So how has that impacted our authenticity that we're carrying right now, today, everything to this moment?
That's a great question. For some of you who have just joined the broadcast, Abel just asked an amazing question, which I'm going to rephrase now, which was, how has the media and the news influenced my true authenticity in my life from my childhood until now? And that's, I'll answer that with a question, Abel. Who do you think is in charge of the media and Hollywood? Who do you who's pumping the money into the news and the media?
I mean, that's a loaded question. That's locked and loaded with mags on the side. That's just one of those that is wild.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't I have skepticism and I have ideas and thoughts on what that might look like, but it's not really true. It's more of like
Yeah.
my perception.
Right. And my point is that it's like whoever is in charge and who the decision makers, the people who go, this is what's going to go on the news, and this is what's going to go in this movie, and this is what's going to go on this TV show. They're the ones, it's like who even knows if they're being authentic and what their agenda is. And that, we can't know. But what I do know, speaking for myself, my true authenticity, I don't know. I had a few movies that like spoke to me, or TV shows. I think like you watch like Breaking Bad, and like that's an authentic show. That's a show that's like, yo, we're gonna show you how anyone can become this evil fucking person, and because they need money. But also like how fucked up that like a school teacher in the U.S. has to sell meth just so he can pay his cancer bills. That's authentic, man. That's truth.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So I mean, and also like I think of movies, I think a lot of like Robin Williams movies. I think of like Dead Poets Society. What's the one?
Bangarang, man. Bangarang. Bangarang. Changed my life.
What's the other one? That Matt Damon's first movie.
Good Will Hunting.
Good Will Hunting is one of my favorite movies. Why? Because it's such an authentic film. Here's this guy who's a genius, and he's scared to express himself because he has no self-worth. I'm just this guy, and he's fucking putting up these equations, in this university, and he's a genius, and he's too afraid to express himself to be a genius. And where does it show up? In his whole life, in his relationships, and with his girlfriend. And it takes this guy, it takes Robin Williams, his therapist, to look him in the eye and go, "You're full of shit." And that's one of my favorite monologues in any movie ever, is when he's on the bench with him. He's like, "What do you know about pain? What do you know about suffering? How old?" He's like, my wife died, this and that, and this, and he's just going, and he's like in tears, and like that, like, man, like, and you watch that performance, and like, that Robin Williams as an actor, that's him, man. Like, yeah, it's his character, but he's been through that. And of course, that's something that plagued him. I mean, he ended up committing suicide because all this stuff was inside of him. And even with the fame and everything, he couldn't get it out, and he didn't feel heard, and he didn't feel seen, and he felt alone and isolated. And isn't that scary, that in our society that you can be a celebrity and you can still feel so isolated that you kill yourself? And this has happened also to the lead singer of Linkin Park. You can list all these celebrities who took their own lives. I think Mac Miller recently too, and like these people who are in pain, and the fame didn't cure it, the money didn't cure it, So it's like, and these people, they're a part of the media, they're a part of Hollywood, they're a part of all this art and culture that we love, but they're also a victim to the system as well, And I think there was like a great Terrence McKenna quote that's coming to me right now, which is like, that's what he says. He's like, don't watch the news, don't watch TV, don't watch movies. Make your own road show, And that's why I love improv, because like with improv, you can get in a room with 10 people, and you'll have more fun, and your soul will come alive in a way that it never could, just plugging yourself in front of a couch and clicking in, or going and watching Netflix and watching this programming that other people have deemed that you want. And they didn't even ask you. And yet, but that's our society as well. So it's like, this was a deep question for me. But exactly though, it's like, I think our self-expression, we have to know who we are. And, maybe we can watch films and TV with intention, and maybe we see these archetypes of, who we want to be. Or like we see our friends, and even like those sitcoms, Friends and all those. It's kind of like, here's this guy, it's the Joey, and everyone's got a Joey. It goes back to that relatable thing. It's like, maybe we can learn from that, but I think a lot of it is just being shoved down our throat.
Yeah.
I would argue that mainstream media, it's and the news, it's not thought-provoking. I think it exists to dumb you down, and also, what does the news do? The purpose of the news is to create stories and to create narratives that you take as truth, and because I know I did. Like my whole life when I was like, my parents were always had the news on NBC Nightly News, and that's before the internet. Like that's how I learned. And for the most of the 20th century, that was the only way for people to learn what was going on. And before that, it was the radio. And it's like this very powerful technology that is in the hands of a very select few people. Do you think these select few people want everyone to be true and authentic and express themselves?
No. I don't really think so at all. I think it's quite the opposite. It's more, and that's why oh man, texting back is like becoming a difficult challenge for me because I've always been so great at it and just like, yeah, I'll text you back right away, or try to at least. I was, especially with people that I, was really wanting to text back, but now it's becoming a challenge because I don't really keep my phone with me all that often. I don't really want it around. It distracts me from listening. I can't really process.
Yeah, I've been having an interesting balance with it because obviously, like, I'm doing this show, and in order to do the show, I have to promote it. I got to make posters. I got to be on Instagram. But yeah, social media is something. Last year, I was very depressed last year, and I took a solid 4 or 5 month break from social media. Because it's like if you don't use social, it's like, especially if you don't have a vision for your life and you aren't secure in yourself, you're going to go on social media and just be looking at everyone else's lives and being like, why don't I have my shit together? And it's
so
awful. It is so awful for you. And again, like I'm writing and I'm publishing a book this year about online dating, message with purpose, swipe dating simplified. And my whole goal of my book is to teach people how to use swipe dating apps with true authenticity.
Right.
Because if we learn how to just
crazy.
really, right? Like what a concept, But I don't know, where was I going with just, social media, the internet is a tool. You can use it to like you use the TV of the 20th century and sit back and just consume it, or what's up? Someone there? Okay.
No.
Or like you can do what I'm doing. I'm making a show. I'm talking to people. Who am I talking to? Regular people. There's nothing special about Abel or me. I have a camera. I have a phone and a tripod and a light. I have a light over here to make me look a little bit better. And that's it. This setup cost nothing. And that's the thing. It's like, this is what I wish. I wish every night of the week I could go on Facebook. There's the Michael Boothby Show. There's the Abel Gonzales Show. There's the Brandon Kalu Show. Why not? The Patrick King Show. And just because why not? Why not? We live in a time of sovereignty. With the technology, we can be independent. We can share our voices with the world. We no longer have to go through the media. We no longer have to go through Hollywood. We can all be famous. We can all be the stars of our own life if we choose it. And that's what this show, I'm choosing this, but I'm also choosing to shine my light on other people who are doing the work and are doing interesting things. And what I've learned, no one is boring. Everyone is doing something really interesting. They just don't think it is.
No, it's spot on. I mean, wouldn't that be awesome? That'd be so much better than Facebook. You need to keep that idea. Like, just our show, and all we're doing is talking to other people. That's how it should be. It shouldn't be like, take a look at my life. And the social media, it is wonderful. I mean, I do love seeing pictures from my friends who live out of the country, out of the state, and staying in touch with friends from elementary school, and meeting that back up with people that I haven't seen or talked to in a while. But the swiping, there's just the mundane, shows,
scrolling,
and
the drip feed, scrolling.
So
it's very
I'm trying to get away from that. Because it's ruining my attention span. Because now I'm just like, quick news fed it, quick news fed it, quick news fed it, quick news. And I don't want that. I want to actually open the newspaper and read the entire thing, and appreciate that I'm gaining more information from being more unique to a paper, hands-on, sort of grounding element to it as well. But I wish that was the case. I honestly do. I wish there was more of this happening.
We got to create it, man. And there's 13 people watching right now who are hearing our message. And now they it's like we say at TO, the good news is now you know. The bad news is now you know. Now you know that you have an option. Now you know how you have an option to take your message out into the world in a very personal and direct way. And that's up to you. It's 100% up to you. But also, and it's fine. There's 13 people watching. I don't even care. This is $1 million idea. I don't, again, but I want to pitch this to you because this has actually kind of been in my head for a while when I was thinking, like, how can I use this improv and stuff? They used to have those sites like Chat Roulette, and it was kind of this experiment, and they didn't really work. We had people like jerking off, and it's like, it was like I remember being in high school and going on. It was very weird. It was really strange. But imagine if we made a site like that, but it was like you have to make an account, you have to be verified, you have to sign the ground rules that say, like, this is a tool for collective consciousness. All that's going to happen is, like, you get 5 minutes, and boom, it's like, boom, you and I like this, and like the only goes, like, it's like maybe there's prompts. Or maybe, maybe it's like
a topic.
Or maybe it's
a topic.
Yeah, or a topic. And it's like, now it doesn't matter where you are. If you have a smartphone, you can go on this app or go on this website and just connect with people. People could go on this site for an hour. Or maybe there's not even a time limit. It just matches you up with someone in the world. And maybe you can pose a question. Hey, I'm depressed. Boom. And right here, we're on split screen. Hey, man, what's going on? Because we have the technology. Imagine that. That would, like, that's a powerful idea. That's something that I would love to get funding for. Because that's like, then everybody does have a show. Then everybody can connect with people and feel heard. It doesn't matter where you are. All you need is a phone. And there's cameras in all of our phones now, which is also kind of suspicious. But with something like this, it's like, now we're using that as a tool to really connect people and to break the problem of isolation that's been created by our culture.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's technology, right? We need to trust the technology, use the technology. Use what we've learned. We are technology beings. We are constantly inputting technology, understanding more, learning more, dissecting more, testing more, probing more, being more, and rationalizing it and understanding it from an authentic perspective. It's the hope for a better future. It's the hope for a better reality.
I think we need to, like at Teospace, how we're learning to drop into our hearts. We need to put some heart into technology. Because even like Facebook, this platform I'm using right now, I think it was created with good intentions to connect people, but but there's so much money in Silicon Valley, and then it's like, these investors take over, and what's their goal? Profit, 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 profit. And now Facebook sucks. I can't even promote my page because everywhere I look, it's pay for an ad, boost your post. I paid to boost my post. It doesn't even do anything. So what that tells me is then the game, if you want your message to be heard, you need to have fucking boatloads of money. So who's winning from Facebook? Now these other big corporations. And it's like, damn, you took something that could have been an amazing tool for the people to really connect with them. And recently this ad campaign, we're turning Facebook back into Facebook. Like fucking hell you are.
I remember when it first came out.
I bet they'll delete this video after because I said that. And that's the thing. I'll say this too. I went live the other night in my in my Airbnb, and I went on and I was just talking, and I don't even want to use the word because I used this word and I said it in a joke, and I went back on to watch the video after it was posted. They cut the audio. They censored my video, and I wasn't even talking about anything, but I used this one word, which means there's an algorithm that's just going through all these videos, and if it hears words, it says nope, silence. That's fucking scary, people. That's really scary. That's violating, the First Amendment. And they're just doing it. And who's stopping them? Because they're a corporation. And here we all are on Facebook. Without this platform, I couldn't even be doing this show right now. But that's like, it shocked me. Because at first I didn't think of it. And then my friend was watching the video and said, hey, the audio cut out. And I said, what? And I went and I watched it. And I was like, that's very strange. And the thing with Facebook, there's no customer support. You can't get on a phone and talk to anyone. Because it's like this institution now, and that's what scares the hell out of me.
No, I can definitely agree. I just got the iPhone 10, and I was kind of scared about it. But at the end of the day, I was just like, that's just going to be more of something that holds me down, that fear of the unknown. And the great thing about that is I walk into every single day with an instant fear of the unknown. Okay, what is it going to be today? And that's how I've trained myself through the course of my life. But now I'm waking up with a fear, or I'm waking up with a joy for the unknown. Yeah. It's a joyful thing. I get to actually experience it. And yeah, I completely agree. Violating First Amendment rights would be possibly the worst thing that's ever happened. I feel like it's already happened.
It's already
a lot.
happening.
It's happening
A lot, yeah.
all the time, and it's sad. But again, that's where it comes to. I'm
Us.
choosing this. I'm choosing
Yeah.
to live here, choosing to live in this country. And you know what? For me, it might not be. That might not be the case forever. Definitely don't. I feel like the way America's going, I don't really want to raise, like, if I have kids in the future, I don't really want to raise them here. I'd rather raise them in like Africa or like Australia or Hawaii or somewhere where there's just a more cultured root. Oh, the Dominican Republic.
And here's my redirect to you. It's like, if you and me and the 11 people watching this right now all went out and chose to live with true authenticity and live in love, and so did everyone else who lived in the United States of America, doesn't matter who's president. Doesn't matter what Facebook's doing, because they can't stop us.
Right.
And
No,
without
absolutely.
us, they can't exist. And so exactly, it's like, on a level, there is this collective, thing. Sure, we want conscious leaders, but exactly, we need people to step up. People like Marcus, people who have big ideas and visions and have hearts, need to run for office, need to go into these offices, because it's like these businesses and corporations, they're just entities, but they're run by people. And so if we have more good people, if we have more people stepping up and being the change that they want to be in the world, then the world changes. And it's like, I'm so sick. Every election, I go, and everyone's fucking bitching. Who you vote for? Did you vote today? It doesn't fucking matter if you vote, people. I'll say it, because it doesn't matter, because it doesn't affect your day-to-day life. And if all of us actually fucking took our power back and lived our lives in authenticity and in love every day, it wouldn't matter. None of it would matter.
No, I hear you, because, and I hear your passion, and I see how this has made an impact on you, and it's been personal. It's been personal many times. It's where your passion comes from. It's where that true authenticity comes from, and it's made me realize that a lot of people aren't able. They're trapped. They're so trapped.
Able.
They don't understand it. They aren't able. They're trapped. They're trapped, and it's sad. But you should be patting yourself on the shoulder, because that was an authentic expression, sort of element of breakthrough, because you were able to be. You were comfortable to be. You shared that with me. You shared it with however other many people are watching. You shared yourself authentically, and what is showing up for you matters. It matters to me. It matters to everyone. The people it doesn't matter to, that's where they're not allowing themselves to be authentic in that moment. Something's there. There's some wall. There's some force field. And I think we're rolling up on time, but I do want to tell you that I would like to hear a closing thought. Something that I take away from you. And I'll share a closing thought as well. But I take away from you, through our conversation, through our friendship, through who you are to me, and who I am to you, and how we're showing up, and that to be appreciative of this moment, because we were able to, for an hour and some odd minutes, authentically be exactly who we are, and people engaged. We enrolled others, and this video will enroll many others, because you want to be around authentic people. So closing remarks from you, and then I'll close.
Yeah, man. It's been so exciting getting to know you and going through this process with you, because you were my buddy in level 1, and I remember back then I was like, oh man, this guy seems so boring. And I even then I remember I was like still waiting for you to call me and just to like leave me a prank voicemail or something. And so that's been my favorite thing, is like seeing you just open up and soften and drop into your heart. But also now sometimes you'll just look over at me and do something silly. You're sprinkling in these moments of just pure joy and fun that are also so authentically you. And it's whenever you do that, it just whatever's in my head just gets and I'm just all my attention's on you. And I think, I think for you, like, that's so powerful. I think for everyone, but like as a leader, I think humor enrolls so many people, and it gets people to listen to you and to laugh and to open up. And so, yeah, man, I would urge you to, because I know you can be the stern leader, but, it's almost better to go from the stern leader, but then also throw in some joke. Because then people are like,
Yeah.
oh, he doesn't take
He
himself
laughs at
seriously. I mean,
things.
yeah, he laughs at things. And I think that's so reassuring to people. Like, I think, like, the president, imagine the president has had some jokes in his speech, and this
Come
thing.
on.
God,
Come
I'm the
on.
president. I'm like,
It's
man, I
funny.
fucked this up. Yeah, it's so funny. I think we need that kind of president. We need a comedian to be president next, so someone's qualified, but who can laugh at themselves and also say, like, guys, this is a hard job. Like, you try and do better.
Right.
But yeah, so for me, that's what's showing up for you. You're becoming more balanced. You're becoming more complete, and you're just becoming more fun to be around. And I'm just like so excited I'm excited to like do all these projects with you. But I'm more excited just to hang out with you
Yeah,
and
dude.
pepperoni, pepperoni,
Pepperoni, pepperoni.
pepperoni. Yeah. Okay.
Well, definitely what's showing up. And for closing remarks, I think it's important to choose today, right? That's just, I want to remind remind myself, look right at myself, and remind you and remind the people that have watched this, the people that will watch this, who's watching this right now. It's so important because this was your choice. And every day we choose. Every element of our life is a chosen element if we want to be real. And choose authenticity. Choose it. Believe in it. And learn more about it. Choose emotional intelligence. Believe it. Know about it. Understand it. Why am I so smart intellectually but so not emotionally? Why did I cry about that? Why is this making me angry? Why
Yeah.
was that funny? Authentically understanding myself, yourself is the priority. Is the priority of this life, to make it a great one, to appreciate it for everything that it is, to really hone in and be thankful for every single breath.
Yeah.
Choose authenticity. Choose more moments like this, stretchy moments. I don't want to watch these guys, but choose it, be it, do it. And yeah, and seeing you, since the day I saw you, I knew, I remember seeing you before. I've seen you
Yeah.
around. I know this guy. But it's been unbelievable to watch as our friendship has
Yeah, man.
was put together and how it's blossomed. And
Yeah.
you're one of the you're a very, very important human in my life. And
Thanks, man.
it means the world to me that we get to connect on this level. And I'm thankful for technology because I get to do this with you, and you are 600 miles away.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
So yeah,
And it's just beginning, man. We're just beginning, which is the most
yeah.
exciting part about all of this.
I mean, you're
But
DJing
yeah,
my wedding. You're gonna do
I'm
the
there,
movie.
man.
You're gonna do the picture. Yeah, you're doing
Yeah,
that. You're doing it. So
cool, cool. I
it's a
love that,
thing.
man. Sweet, man. Well, Abel, this has been such an amazing conversation. This has been so far my most popular episode. I think we had 16 people watching, which is incredible. I don't know if
That's
this is
awesome.
gonna keep growing. Yeah, guys. I right now I actually have someone. I have someone coming on tomorrow night. What's tomorrow? What's today? Is it Tuesday? What's
Today
tomorrow?
is Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Tomorrow's
Today's
Thursday.
Wednesday. Tomorrow's Thursday. So my good friend Dustin Borlak, nicknamed Dusty, is coming on the show. He's a musician from Chicago. He's a great dude. He's doing so much. He plays the didgeridoo, which is so cool. Yeah, he plays. He's a drummer. He's very spiritual. I'm super excited to have him on. And also, guys, yeah, if you want, please, if you feel so moved by this show, please share it. Share it with anyone who you think could get something out of it. You can share the link, straight from Facebook. But also, if you're like not on the Facebook train, I made a YouTube channel, the Michael Boothby Show. I just uploaded last night's episode, and I'm going to upload this one tomorrow. I'm going to start uploading all the episodes on YouTube because I feel like YouTube's like a nice archive. You can also listen to it in the car like a podcast. So yeah, I'm gonna stay, at least for now, I'm gonna stay live on Facebook, but then also move them over to YouTube, with the hope that one day, maybe once I get some more supporters, once I get more of a budget, once I get more cash flow, I'd like to, download some software that will let me up the production value, number one, but also go live on multiple platforms at the same time, because I want to reach as many people as possible. And I think having these conversations with real people, authentically, talking about the issues, talking about what matters, talking about emotions and the heart, I think people want this. And, like one of my biggest heroes right now is like the Joe Rogan Experience. He has over 1,000 episodes. I was watching an episode of his the other day on YouTube. There was 150,000 people watching live. And why not? Why not strive for that? I would love to have 1 million people be tuning into these live broadcasts. And that's my vision, and that's my goal. And so thank you, Abel, for being the most amazing guest for episode 5. I'm sure you'll be back on the show, later this year as things develop, as we get more interesting and we get further down our own paths and have more going on. But yeah, man, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
Thanks, man.
It's been great.
Yeah.
It's good to see you.
You too, man.
Feel free to call me afterwards or whenever.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'll call and check in with you. But yeah, thanks, man.
All right.
How's it going? All right, guys, that was Abel Gonzales. This has been episode 5 of the Michael Boothby Show. If you watched from the beginning to the end, thank you so much. If you missed the first part, guys, it's gonna be published right after. So yeah, go on and check it out.